We are glad to have you join us on the news at 2 on Lagos Television. I am Aminat Ilegushi. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau says 2 more bodies have been recovered from the S-76 helicopter that crashed in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. 3 persons were confirmed dead following the crash on Thursday. 8 persons, 6 passengers and 2 crew members were on board the aircraft when the incident happened. NSIB Director General Alex Bade, who disclosed this, says a total number of 5 people have been recovered and are hoping to recover the 3 people left. Bade says investigators are on their way to the scene of the accident, saying it will take days for the wreckage of the aircraft to be recovered. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has ordered military to join the rescue team to intensify search. The president also commiserated with families of the victims. And Vice President Kashim Shettima's trip to Samaul to represent Nigeria at the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government Summit has been cancelled after a foreign object eater's plane during a stopover at JKF Airport in New York. Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said the foreign object damaged the cockpit windscreen of the plane. President Tinubu has approved a ministerial delegation to represent Nigeria at the summit while the plane's repair has commenced. The delegation, which will now represent Nigeria at the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, is being led by the Minister of Environment, Abbas Lawal. The summit began on the Pacific Island on the 21st of October. It will end on the 26th. Vice President Shettima and Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuga have left New York for Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria has debunked reports claiming that the old series of 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes will cease to exist as legal tender by December 31st, 2024. In a statement released on Thursday by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, C.D. Akama, the CBN noted that the order of the Supreme Court of Nigeria on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, to extend the use of old naira banknotes still holds indefinitely. The CBN has directed its branches to continue to issue and accept all denominations of Nigerian banknotes. Old and redesigned to and from deposit money banks remains in force. The CBN urges members of the public to continue to accept all naira banknotes for their day-to-day transactions and handle them with the utmost care to safeguard and protect their life cycle. Nigerians are also asked to embrace alternative modes of payment, e-channel, in order to reduce pressure on the use of physical cash. The Lagos State government has presented checks to another set of 280 beneficiaries living in Lagos to help cushion the effect of the current economic challenge in the country. The Special Advisor to the Governor on Political, Legislative, Civic Engagement, Dr. Afolabi Abiodun Tajudeen, reiterated government's commitment to bridge the biting economic crunch. Adetola Kayode reports.
The wind of support from the Lagos State government has blown the way of another set of 280 beneficiaries who reside in Lagos. Special Advisor to the Governor on Political, Legislative, Civic Engagement, Afolabi Tajudeen, who presented checks to the beneficiaries, says with this 6th edition, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is not backing down on bringing succor and tending to the plights of the people in many ways than one.
It's not all about governors alone. It's all about the people the government govern. So they must get that feedback, and we must have a feedback from them too, that what the government is doing is really getting to them.
The beneficiaries thanked the government of Lagos and Governor Sanwo-Olu for coming through for them when the least expected it.
They should keep on the tempo, the way they are doing it. Because they don't need to know you before they give you money. I don't know anybody here. When they call me, I believe what I wrote inspired them to call me.
This is a real boost for the business and for the small-scale businesses, and I tell you, it's going to go a long way. So you should please keep it coming for all that's coming behind.
Dr. Tajudeen enjoined the beneficiaries to make judicious use of the grants as there's pre- and post-monitoring by the ministry.
Because in the letter, you must give us your phone number, you must give us your address, your home address, and this is where we will get to actually clarify whether you are using the money for what it is meant for.
Sanwo-Olu Cares, Sanwo-Olu Listens is one of the programs introduced by the Sanwo-Olu administration to help cushion the effect of the economic strain on the people. Adetola Kayode, LTV News.
The Lagos State government has allayed fears of residents on the release of water from Oyo Dam, assuring that necessary measures are in place to effectively manage the floods. Addressing the media after an extensive tour of areas affected by the staggered water release, Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources Tokunbo Wahab insists that property owners and residents of low-lying areas must relocate to higher grounds. Bukola Telokol has the details.
The release of water from the Oyo Dam by the Ogun-Osun River Basin Authority is always a major source of concern and worry for residents of Isheri North as flood takes over the community, making life unbearable for them. At this inspection tour, Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, empathized with residents, assuring them that the Lagos State government, the Ogun State government, and the federal government are working round the clock to mitigate the effects of the flood.
We are getting to a point where the final solution is seeing the light of the day. We thank Mr. President for awarding the contract for the capital dredging of the Ogun River through Itowolu and expanding the width of it. So when they discharge water from the dam, the water level will not be this high. That contract has been awarded, and I think they started the job around 18th of September. The governor has been so unhappy about the state of things. So we just want to plead with them that let's see how far the dredging that has been awarded will go.
This year flood is not massive because there was a collaboration between us and the Ogun State government to dredge the Oparo Canal. That he has come to empathize with us is even something we should be proud of. Not many government officials will come to us at a time like this.
On their part, residents of the community have put in place measures to minimize the flood.
If you look around, you see that our drainages have been depleted. It costs a lot of money. There have been advocacy on how to manage waste in our community.
Also bearing the brunt of the release of water from the Oyo Dam are residents of Ajegunle, Itowolu, and Owodelede. Here, residents built on the plains of the Ogun River.
We also need to appeal to those citizens that are staying around Ajegunle, Itowolu. They are taking so much risk. They're built inside the Ogun River embankment. So it's not about them saying we don't want to leave, we love it, it's our home. It's about how safe, how habitable is the place.
The team also inspected drainage infrastructure in Agbede, Ijede, and Berigbe in Ikorodu.
We have a network of drainage connections going on, connecting a state project with a local government project and a federal project. That is extensive. Agbede is such a very unfortunate neighborhood. Before now, we had an intervention where we had to protect the school and we had to run a very massive drainage infrastructure through it to discharge into the nearby natural stream, but it's not enough. So graciously, Mr. Governor had approved the second leg of the drainage system to start immediately, and the contractor had been awarded the job, and I believe in the next few days or weeks it should be on site.
The Lagos State government reiterates its commitment to making life livable for residents irrespective of the season. Bukola Telokol, LTV News.
In sports, the Nigeria Premier Football League have moved to enforce arbitration decisions of the Nigeria Football Federation Player Status Committee following the failure of affected clubs to take advantage of extended windows of moratorium. The clubs were dragged to the NFF committee in disputes over salaries and entitlement of some of their former players and coaches. The committee entered judgment in favor of the petitioners and gave affected clubs a time frame and process for compliance. Chief Operating Officer of the NPFL, Davidson Omi said having exhausted a period of grace, they have moved to enforce the judgment, and the first step is to withdraw licenses of all newly transferred and registered players of the affected clubs for the ongoing season. The NPFL insisted that the licenses of the players would only be restored upon receipt of official confirmation that the club has fully complied with the decision. And on the foreign scene, the two candidates vying for the seat of the United States president are taking a break from targeting votes in battleground states today to campaign in Texas. Donald Trump will visit Austin to record an episode of Joe Rogan Experience, the biggest podcast in the U.S. The appearance is part of the Trump campaign's calculated media strategy, which is focused on podcasts popular with younger men over traditional media outlets. On the other hand, Kamala Harris is set to appear at a campaign event in Houston, likely alongside with Beyonce. According to analysis, the candidates are neck and neck, with polls suggesting Harris is leading by a razor-thin margin. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on the social media platforms. Many thanks for staying with us. Please remember to call the Lagos State toll-free lines 767 or 112 in case of emergencies. I am Aminat Eligushi. See you again at 4 p.m.